In this video, we are going to go over how to learn the first Noel from chapter 5. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to analyze the structure of the piece, what we call form and analysis. In the very beginning, we have this idea. That's what we call an introduction. Okay, this is just introductory type of idea here. So that's what's happening from here to here. Okay, so we're going to call that our intro. Okay. Then we have the theme, okay, which is the A theme here, which we all know, the melody. Okay, and that goes all the way to here. That's the antecedent of a phrase of this theme. And then the consequence continues. Okay, which is identical, right? So the melody is the same and the left hand is also the same. So the theme repeats to here. Okay, then we get the response to the theme. Which has been changed a little bit here. And we'll call that the first part of it, the response. And then the second part of the response continues here. Then, at this point, we return to what we call an outro, which in this case is almost identical to the intro. We'll call it an outro. You could also call it a coda, which simply means tail. So those are our sections. So you're really just dealing with an intro, outro, then the A sections, and then B1 and B2. So not that much. We're going to start off by learning the melody, which is the theme. Okay, so this is pickups to measure 5 all the way through the bottom of the page. That's the segment we're looking at here. Okay. Right. So let's talk about this. This is in the key of C major, and it's built on the C major scale. So we look on the beginning of bar 5, we are actually dealing with a C major scale here. The only difference is the C major scale actually is in time, so it's in 3/4 time. But the fingering is identical, so 1, 2, 3, then you shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like a 1-octave C major scale. That's all it is. So let's just try playing that section right there. Okay, so it's a C major scale. Play a C major scale first. C, D, E, shift, F, G, A, B, C. And now we're just going to do it in time. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, shift, and 1. Try that much again. 1 and 2 and 3, shift, 1. Like that. Now let's do the whole scale. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1. Like that. Now, before the scale, we have a little lead-in, a pickup section, which starts on 3 on E, and it's still in C major, so just 3, 2, 1, like that. Okay. And then following the top note, we just walk back down 5, 4, 3, 2. And we do that again. 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking 5. Let's redo that. So let's try the melody that far from the pickups. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 shift and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Then go to second finger on G, 2, 1, then back to 3 on E. So notice the whole theme is in C major scale position, right? So once you shift up to F position, we stay in F position through that whole bottom half of the theme. So very, very simple. Try that several times. Get very comfortable until you can play the theme very fluidly. Okay, so now try this tempo with me after you've done plenty of repetitions. 1 and 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 1 crossover, 3. That's it. Next section, we don't even have to look at it. This next section, okay? If I wanted to, I could even erase it and just say, you know what? We don't even need to think about it, okay? Because it's literally just a repeat. If you wanted to just erase it, you can. But just basically treat those, like you're playing that twice. If you want to write the fingering in again, you can. So now, let's talk about the, so we're just kind of sticking with the melody still. We're going to go to B1 now. B1, which is pickups of 21. So again, it starts with the same idea, which is just the C major scale, starting 3, 2, 1. And again, it's still just the same notes. 2, 3. Now this is different here. 4. We don't shift. It's really critical because now we're going to have to play D and G with 5 and 2. So can we try from B1? Let's go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Now don't shift. 2, 3, 4, 2, 5. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2. Don't shift. And 3, and 2, 5. Now we shift to A position, A minor position. So 3 on C. This is C. 3, 2, and this is an A. And you'll just have 2, 3, 4, rest. Let's try this part. So third finger on C, 1 and 2. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. Then you stay in position, 3, 5, 2, 4. So notice that whole section from here to here was all in A minor position. I never have to shift my hand, okay? That's all A minor position. Let's try that again. Third finger on C, 1 and 2. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3, 5, 2, 4. So get very comfortable with that, and then we can do all of the B1 section. 1 and 2 and 3, 2, 1. Don't shift. 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5. Now shift up to A minor position. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and C, E, B, D. Okay? Then B2. We were in A minor position. we're going to go ahead and stay in A minor position. So we'll use third finger on C, 3, 2, 1, then cross over to 2 on G, but then come right back up to A. All right? 2, 3, 5, 4, like that. Let's try. Third finger on C, and 3, 2, 1, cross over to G, then back up to A. 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. And so now we've covered the entire melody. That's the whole right hand, with the exception of the right hand in the intro and the outro. Next, let's tackle the left hand. Going all the way back to the theme, the original A theme on bar 5. If we look at the left hand, it's just outlining chord shells. So C, G, it starts off C, G. Then it goes to E, B. Those are perfect fits. Okay, so you can even mark them as such. So you've got, this is C, then E, then F, and then you've got a sixth here. This is a sixth with an E and a C. Okay, let's try the left hand by itself there. And you're just going to do block chords. C, G. Now E, B, shift up to E. Shift up to F, C. And now you stay there. You just move your fifth finger down to E. The thumb stays on C. Let's do that again. C, G. Up to E, B. Up to F, C. And fifth finger down to E. Okay. And then it does the F again. F, C. And it does the E, C again. Like that. So now let's do those 6 bars. Block chords. C, G. E, B. F, C. Fifth finger down to E, C. Back to the F, C. Back to the E, C. Do that a few times. Once you're comfortable with that, then we can do the next scale. This is also C major, but we do not start on the note C. We start on the note D, which means you're going to start with fourth finger. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So it's like we're omitting the C. There's no C here. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 5. Let's try the scale. Fourth finger on D, and 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 5. Again. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 5. That's the whole left hand for the theme. Very, very easy. Now try the left hand as written. Notice it always comes on 1 and 2, 3, like that, okay? So C position, and 1 and 2, shift up to E, 1 and 2, shift to F, and 1 and 2, now E, C, and 1 and 2, back to F, C, 1 and 2, back to E, C, and 1 and 2. Now fourth finger on D. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 5. Go ahead and drill that several times with the video. Feel free to pause it, rewind it, get very comfortable. Okay. So that's the left hand on the A theme, and of course repeats on the top of the next page. So we're jumping all the way now to B1, looking at the left hand, right over here on the beginning of bar 21. Starts off very simply, second finger on B, then third finger on A, then 2, 4. So this is very predictable. B, A, G, B, like that. So 2, 3, 4, 2. That part's easy. On the next part, we jump up to treble clef. That's important to note, which means this is now a G. And we're doing second finger on the G, then 3-1, F-A, and then C-G again. This is that C-G again. Okay, so again you have G, then F-A, and then C-G. And then we end on an E major chord here, E, G sharp. If you want, you can write those notes for yourself with 2-4. E, G sharp. So now let's try that whole line from the beginning of measure 21 for B1. Second finger on B. 1 and B, then A, and now GB. And 2, 3. Now second finger on G. 1, 2, and 3, 1. Now CG. 1 and 2. Now E, G sharp. 3 and. So again, drill that, get comfortable with that. And then next we're going to tackle B2. B2. All right. So this here we have to figure out a simple fingering to play this. We're going to start with our thumb. 1, 2, like this. Let me just see if I want to do something a little different here. Yeah, so we're going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1 on F. 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And it starts on A. Okay, so the fingering is a little different here. It's not really in a scale, but that allows us to reach the notes we need to. Okay, let's try this together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay, and drill that in several times. When you're comfortable with that, we can do all B1 and B2 together. Left hand, second finger on B. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, shift up, 1, G, F, A, C, G, 2, now E, G sharp, 3, and fermata, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay. So now we have also learned the left hand for everything outside of the intro and the outro. Let's go ahead and learn the intro. Notice how the left hand bottom note stays on C the entire time. So if you look here, it's always just on C. Let's do a different color. Always a C. Always a C. The top note is just going from G to A to B and back to A. So let's try the left hand. And C, G, 2, G, C, C, A, 2, 3, C, B, 2, B, C, C, A. So a nice kind of rocking, almost cradling type of rhythm there. The right hand just walks up E, F, G, F. So it's very, very simple. E, F, G, F. So the parts are moving in parallel motion, the top notes. You have G and E, then A and F, then B and G, and A and F. And if we look at that, that actually is the interval of a sixth each time. So you're really just dealing with parallel sixths here. Okay? Moving in parallel motion. That's all that is. So let's try that. So your left hand thumb is on G and your right hand third finger is on E. Now you go up, AF, up to BG, and back down to AF. Again, GE, up to AF, up to BG, and back down to AF. Right? And that's all it is. So it's just rocking. Let's try it as written slowly. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. And you could add pedal to it to make it sound even prettier. And 1 and 2 and 3 and change the pedal. 1 and 2 and 3, change the pedal. 1 and 2 and 3, change the pedal. 1 and 2, like that. That's the introduction. Let's take a look at the outro, or the coda. And what you'll notice is it's exactly the same thing. The only thing, it's up an octave. That's all that happens. So the same thing, we have a sixth, G and E, and then a sixth between A and F, then a sixth between B and G, again just parallel, and then a sixth between A and F, and this time we go back to G, E, all the way to the end. Let's try just the sixth. So left hand is always using the thumb, right hand starts on third finger. Okay. So left hand G, right hand third finger on E, then up to AF, up to BG, back down to AF, back down to GE, 3 times. Okay. Once you're comfortable with that, we can play it as written, and you can even use the pedal. 3 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 1 and 2. So now we've learned the intro and outro hands together. We've learned hands alone on the other parts. Now let's talk about how to put these parts together. So on the A theme, this is not too difficult to do, because if you look rhythmically, the left hand plays on the eighths between on the held notes, okay? So if you look at measure 5, the rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that's pretty simple, because you have this. 3 and 1 left hand and 2 and 3 and E, then to F, like that. 3 and E, C. So see how the left hand is just fitting in the middle? So all you really need to do is just kind of drill putting it together measure by measure. Okay? So that should be pretty easy for you to do. Same thing through measure 10. Measure 11 and 12 is a little different because now hands play at the same time. If you really struggle playing hands together on something, you can really break it down, like a lot. Let me show you what I mean. I could just say, practice this. these 3 notes. Why those 3 notes? Because that's a small transition. So left hand is 4, 3, 2. The right hand is C, then G, and you can just have 1 and 2 again. 1 and 2 and again. 1 and 2 and like that. We could do the same thing from beat to beat. So you could do these 2 beats the same way. 1 or 2 and 3 like that. And this, so 2 and 3 again. 2 and 3 and 2 and 3. So notice how I'm breaking it down by beat. Now, many of you won't have to do this. I'm just showing you how you can break it down to incredibly small sections if you need. So you could do that, like that. But I would say most of you can probably do this whole thing as one idea. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. But if it's difficult, break it down to those sections by beat. Personally, this is my favorite way to practice. I like to go backwards. So 3rd beat to the downbeat. This is how I would do it if I were coaching you individually and you needed the help. I would do 3 and I would count. So 3 and 1 and 2. I had to make sure that was strong first. And then I would add in the 2nd beat. 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. And when that was strong, then I would go ahead and then do the rest of it combined like this. And then when that was strong, I would make sure we could link it up by starting from here. Oops, use the highlighter. I'm starting from here. Assuming I already had the pickups to 9 through 10 hands together. So that's kind of the method I would use, the progression, if you will. But there are many different progressions you could come up with. So experiment if you'd like, or you can use other strategies you've learned. If it works for you, it works. So it doesn't really matter what kind of progression, so long as it's kind of progressive. Let's take a look at how you might break down the B1 section in practice. Again, it's very rhythmically based. I would divide it into small parts. So I would say one of the small parts would obviously be this. You could definitely break that up into smaller parts even. You could say, I would like to work on just that transition, right? And you can use exactly the same strategy. That strategy I showed you, working for the N. Beat 3 to 1, then beat 2 to 3, beat 1 to 2, and then combining it. It always works. I haven't ever had a situation where someone could not master a section of music using that particular strategy. So it's a very foolproof strategy on how to put things hands together. I would do the same thing on this next section. I would say that this whole thing, let's say that you're dealing with a section right here. Okay, that's a section. And I would say, well, we can break this up where you're just doing just the last 2 beats. Then you could say, okay, well, I got that down. Let me add the first to that. And then you could add in this section and then add in this section. So you can break that down to 3 partitions if you need to. Just make sure when you're doing this, you're always breaking it down rhythmically speaking. And the same for measure 25, 26, 27. Okay. So part of what we're doing in this course is we're trying to learn how to practice, how to train. The goal is not for you to always need me or someone else to break down your music for you. The goal is through seeing music broken down over and over again and going through the process of effective structured practice and progressive practice, that you learn the skills and methodology necessary to do this yourself, to go through the analysis, to break it down, because many of you are training to become music teachers in the future, and I think probably all of you will be teaching in some form. So this works not just in piano, it works in every instrument. It also works in every subject that we ever study. So breaking things down, developing a gradual progression, that's really the key to learning. And putting enough repetitions that it's habitual. Okay, so don't forget that. You play it, you play it 4 times, the first 3 times are wrong, the 4th time is correct. Don't just say, okay, I got it, I'm done. No, because great, you can play it, you played it once correctly. You need to play it over and over and over and over again until it's habitual. What you're doing is you're programming your conscious mind so that you don't have to think about it anymore. So it's kind of automatic for you. Anyways, I hope this video is helpful for you, and I hope you get a lot of enjoyment on playing the first Noel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.